Hello, Charlton here, Editor-in-Chief of I Love Coaching Magazine, and I want to welcome you to a very special blog post and video recording. We're going to be talking about the early morning success myth. And the reason why this one's a little bit different is because if you've been following me for any length of time, you would have noticed that from my emails and my blog posts that I usually like to write. But I thought I'd do a video for this one because I wanted to really convey my emotion. Now, I've been wanting to write this blog post for a while now, and there was this post on Instagram that I saw the other day which kind of spurred me into action and really kind of got me a little bit frustrated and angry. So I'll read off that post now, and then we'll go into the early morning success myth and what that's about. So this was the post on Instagram, and I follow a lot of kind of motivational people on Instagram. And it says here, Mike O'Hearn wakes up at 3 a.m. every single morning to work on his masterpiece. And it's talking about his body. He is beyond committed and dedicated to his craft, and his success and results didn't come overnight. It has taken him years of continual work, effort, and energy to constantly improve and develop his body and his career. So that's great, nothing wrong with that. Then it goes on. Are you waking up at 3 a.m. to work on your masterpiece and take advantage of the early hours of the day to create something truly epic? Or are you hitting the snooze button because you aren't passionate enough about your dreams and your masterpiece? Are you just interested, or are you overcommitted to your cause, your passion, and your purpose? Now, this is a piece that really got me frustrated because a few years ago when I first started my business kind of entrepreneurial journey, I was one of those entrepreneurs that would go to bed at say 1 a.m. and then get up at 5 a.m. thinking that that's what it took to be successful, and that if I wasn't working 17-hour days, then I wasn't going to be able to achieve success. And all that did, it burnt the wick from both ends, and I was just a walking zombie, and I was nowhere near as productive as what I am now, getting much more sleep. But before we go into that, what I really want to touch on is this pervasive belief in the entrepreneurial and coaching industry that if you're not getting up at 3 a.m. like it says here, if you're not getting up at 5 a.m., 4 a.m., then you're not going to be successful. And there's this feeling of guilt that gets tied to that, if you do hit the snooze button, or if you do get up later than the early hours of the morning. Now it says here, are you waking up at 3 a.m. to work on your masterpiece? At the end of the day, it doesn't really matter what time you get up to work on your masterpiece, right? You can get up at 9 a.m., you can get up at 3 in the afternoon. It doesn't matter. What does matter is the hours that the time that you leverage to then work on your quote unquote masterpiece on your business, and maximizing that time as effectively as possible, and which we'll go into that in a second. But the biggest problem that I see with this, and this is especially true for me, is that the feeling of guilt that's tied to not getting up at the right time because so-and-so guru told us that if we're not getting up by 6 a.m., 5 a.m. or 3 a.m. in the morning, that we are not going to be successful. So if you're getting up at 7 a.m., if you some mornings that you do sleep in, and I'll give you my routine in a minute on what I do in the mornings. But if you do have that feeling of guilt when you wake up in the morning, first of all, what I want you to do is just check in with yourself and find out where that guilt is coming from. Is it because you made a promise to yourself that you were going to get up and work on this piece, or is it because it was an outside influence where some guru told you that if you're not getting up by X and X time, then you are not going to be successful and that you don't deserve success? So just check in where this guilt is coming from, and know that that sometimes we are human, and sometimes we will sleep in, and sometimes I do sleep in just because I'm feeling exhausted from the day before. And before I would feel guilty around that. I would feel really guilty. But now I've learned to realize that, as I said, we are all human, and there are days that we're not going to be able to get up at the time that we wanted to get up, and then you just have to let that go and move forward. And it's no point in dwelling on the past, and just knowing that it is okay for you to get up at whatever time that you need to get up, and that success isn't tied to a certain time that you get up in the morning, if that makes sense. What does matter is how well you maximize and leverage that time that you do have. And one of the big things that I really want to speak to in this video is maximizing your time. And I was listening to a podcast with Vision, I don't know if I pronounce his last name, Lakhani, and he's the CEO of Mind Valley, which is kind of like an information product company. They do lots of personal development stuff. And he runs a multi-$100 million company. I believe the last time I heard, they're trying to get it to about 250 million a year. And he's the CEO, and he only works from 9 till 5, I believe. And he doesn't also subscribe to this belief that you need to be working 12, 15, 17 hours per day to be successful. And the way that he's built this company, the way that I'm building mine, and the way that you'll see the most successful entrepreneurs build it, where they're able to continually grow their company and have time to do whatever they want, and that's through systems, and it's through measuring and tracking those systems. So no matter what you do, whether it's, for example, creating a blog post, whether it's writing an email, whether it is clearing your emails, we've got so many emails, no matter what it is that you're doing in business, the most important thing you need to be doing is having some type of system or process around whatever it is you're doing, and having a process to also track and measure those processes, having KPIs, key performance indicators. And it's through those key performance indicators and your systems that you will be able to grow your business without you being there. If you're the cog in the wheel that needs your business to grow, then you might find that to keep your business going, you will have to work 12, 15, 17 hours per day simply to keep it going. But you don't want to be in that position. You want to be in a position where you can step away for a few weeks and your business continues to bring in leads, customers and clients, etc., etc. The only way that you can do that is through systems and processes and measuring those processes. Okay, so I'll tell you a little about my routine and my morning routine. It's really simple. So I get up. I used to get up not too long ago, actually, about 5 a.m. And what was happening is I was getting really tired, and then I was waking up at 6 a.m., 6:30. So I would go to bed at, say, 10 o'clock every night, but then I'd get to sleep about 10:30, 11, waking up at 5. And for me, that wasn't enough sleep. So the 6 hours wasn't enough sleep, and I would wake up feeling like a zombie during the day, and I would be less productive. I wouldn't be as creative, and my business suffered for it. My work suffered for it. So recently I started getting up at 6 a.m. and I have this cool app on my phone. Actually, I'm looking for my phone, but I'm recording of it. So I have this cool app on my phone. It's called Sleep Cycle. Yeah, Sleep Cycle. And what that does is you put it at the corner of your bed. You can put it on airplane mode so it doesn't have the frequencies and stuff going in your head when you're sleeping, but put it on airplane mode and you put it at the corner of your bed, and it tracks your sleep cycle, and you can tell it to wake you up within a certain amount of time. So you can say, wake me up within between 5 and 6 a.m, or you can say 5:30 and 6, or you can say wake me up between 8 in the morning and 9 in the morning, or you can even do half an hour intervals. But the point is, this app will wake you up when you're coming out of your when you'll see you go in patterns when you sleep, and it'll wake you up when you're kind of at the top of your most out of your REM sleep, or when you're most awake, I guess you could say, in that pattern. And what that will do is that'll make you feel a lot more fresh when you are waking up. So that app is called Sleep Cycle, I believe. Anyway, so I've been waking up at 6 a.m. now, so I get about 7 hours, 7.5 hours sleep sometimes. And I feel just that extra hour of sleep makes me feel so much better in the morning. And then from there, I do, so I get up, brush my teeth, have some water, and then I will do some meditation for 20 minutes. And there's a great app that I use called Omvana, which is actually from Mind Valley, which is Vishen Lakhiani's, again, that company that I just mentioned before. And I do some guided meditation for about 20 minutes. And then after that, I will do some reading. Usually it's on a kind of a metaphysical book, something around spirituality. And then after that, I will go for a run. So I go for a run stretch, have a shower, and then I'll start my day around 8 o'clock. Sometimes not at 8 o'clock, sometimes it's at 8:30, sometimes it's at 9 o'clock, just depending on what's the day. So again, before I was feeling guilty that if I didn't start at that time, then I wouldn't be successful. But just know that every day is different. Sometimes you'll have calls late at night, so then you'll be a little bit tired. It's okay for you to wake up a little bit later. So that's my morning routine. It's really simple, but the most important thing that I want you to get out of today is that not feeling guilty because you're not getting up at 3 a.m., 4 a.m., 5 a.m. And the point is get up when you want to get up, but then maximize and leverage the time that you have to the absolute best of your ability, and have systems and processes to maximize and leverage that time. So that's the actually before I wrap up on maximizing systems and in your business, there's one thing that I do every week with my business partner, Jumpstart Gym, and we teach a masterclass on the FAME model. So it's the 5 steps to 5 figures the 4 steps to 5 figures using the FAME model, FAME. And this is a free class that you can come to join anytime you want. We have an amazing Facebook group around that people can ask questions. And this is a training where you would usually invest a lot of money for, the big gurus would pay you for. But we're giving it away for free. So if you want to come in that masterclass and again leverage another system to help grow your business, where you can step away and you don't have to be there, then you're really going to want to come and join the masterclass. So the link for that is I'll put it below this video. There'll be a button there, and if there's no button, then you're watching this on YouTube somewhere, then it'll be ilovecoachingmagazine.com/masterclass. And then you can go and sign up, and you'll get the first video, and you'll get access to the Facebook group straight away. So again, the message for this video, that feeling of guilt, kind of find out where that feeling of guilt is coming from, and know that just because you're not getting up early in the morning doesn't mean you're not going to be successful. And then the second part I want to drill home is what you do with the time that you have, maximize and leverage that. That's what counts, and the best way to do that is with systems and processes. And the third point is, if you want a great system and process to help maximize and leverage your own business, come join us on the masterclass. It's interactive. You get to ask Q&A. It's a lot different than anything you've ever seen before. And I'll put the link below that. And I'd also love to get your thoughts back on this video. I'll put a comment box below this video. Thanks for that. And I'll see you on the next video, or I'll see you in my next email. Cheers.